Could this change the landscape of video games as we know it? We are talking about a price increase of video games from $70 all the way up to $100 for a standard game. If they raise the price of video games, they're going to raise the price of DLC as well. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Monkey Flop here, and if you guys like this video, me bringing you guys the news, make sure to hit a like. Let me know your honest opinions in those comments down below, and of course, subscribe if you're new. But let's jump into it because this is honestly crazy. It's a touchy subject because a lot of people don't want to pay a lot for video games. Heck, a lot of people play free-to-play games, and there's a reason why free-to-play games were even invented in the first place. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the subject on hand, and that is GTA 6, the highly anticipated game that everybody's been waiting for. But guess what? They're planning on raising their price of the video game, and the whole industry is looking through a microscope at GTA 6 and trying to figure out if they could follow suit and do the same thing. Now we're talking about price increase, a $10 price increase. A lot of people are saying that it's going to be going from $70 all the way up to $80. Other people are saying it could go from $70 for the game all the way up to $100 just for the standard game. No deluxe, nothing like that. Just the base entry level game for, the big games. Now, if this happens, keep in mind indie games are going to have to raise their price as well. Not all indie games are going to raise their price, but they're talking about maybe $50 for an indie title as opposed to a big AAA title. Now, I'm not making this up. You can literally Google GTA 6 $100 and you'll find several news outlets talking about it, such as this one right here. Companies are hoping GTA 6 is $100 so they can raise the price too, game industry analyst says. Now, I'm not going to read the full report because we have a lot of different ones. This is coming from IGN. Hope for $80, if not $100. Again, the same thing in repeat. Then we have this from PlayStation Lifestyles. Potential PS6 game price have players worried. And they talk, again, about the same thing. Games could be $80 to $100. So if GTA 6 can raise the price of their game when it gets released to $80, then almost 100% sure that PlayStation 6 games at launch are going to be $100. Now, we're going to talk about the price discounts and stuff like that in just a second. In my personal opinion, here is another one from Push Square. I'm telling you guys, there are millions of news articles out there talking about the same thing. Would you pay $100 for GTA 6? And again, all the sources are listed in all of the articles if you guys want to go and check that out. I wanted to show you several articles so you guys know I'm not just making this up, but it is honestly wild to me to think that we are going into the next phase of video games where there's a price increase. Usually we don't see a price increase for AAA games during the middle of a console generation. We usually see an increase in the next generation, but if GTA 6 can pull this off, which they've already spent a couple of $1 billion to create the game, and they're already anticipating that they're going to make $1 billion in pre-order sales in the first fiscal year. They're going to make another, what, $3 billion? So yeah, Grand Theft Auto is a really big game and they can probably do it and gamers will probably pay it. But I really want to know your personal opinion. Now think about this for a second. If GTA 6 raised the price of their game to $80, a lot of other companies are going to follow suit. And that is actually going to affect the sales of the launch of the game. And eventually the price is going to be discounted just like we see all the time on the PlayStation Network store. There's a lot of deals out there and there's even big AAA games going for $5. Heck, I've seen games go for $2.99 that are big AAA games. Of course, they're older titles and everything, but I would imagine that if a game launches and it doesn't reach the sales that it wants or that it needs, that game is going to get heavily discounted. Now, in my personal opinion, I hope video game prices don't increase, because the entry level for games, if you think about it, you pay $70 for a new game, but then guess what? You get all this DLC. So if you want to play more of the game, you got to pay more money. A lot of people get the digital deluxe edition, which is already like $100 for most games. And that comes with most of the game. You still have to buy more of it if you're really into the game and you really want to invest your time in it and actually enjoy it for what it is. You know, $70 is an entry level, and that's what they've been doing for a long time. So if they do raise the price of video games, then let's stop all of this, like, oh, if you want to play more of the game, you have to pay more. If we're going to be paying $100 for a game, give us the whole game, not just part of the game, and then make us pay for more. Because can you imagine if you're paying $100 for a game, but then guess what? We got DLC Season 1 coming out, and that's another $30, because if they raise the price of video games, they're going to raise the price of DLC as well. The DLC isn't going to cost $15 anymore. It's not going to cost $20. They're going to raise the price of that too. Pretty much all the prices are going to be raised. We are expecting a price raise for the PlayStation 6. That's honestly a given. Every console generation we do see increments, little increments of price increases, but not during the middle of a console generation. But yeah, I want to bring you guys the news. Let me know what you guys think in those comments down below. Of course, if you're new, subscribe with those bell notifications turned on, and I will see you guys in the next news update. You guys are freaking awesome.